Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. In the Arabic language, one must start any reading with a vowel letter, and the rule remains the same when we are reciting the Quran. We must start a word with a vowel or a haraka. However, stopping at the end of a word can never be a complete or full haraka. It is either with a sukoon, which means there is no vowel, or a part of the vowel, which inshallah we will discuss very soon. So we will be spending the next few lessons on the subject of stopping at the end of words. Words are divided into two categories in regards to their ending. One of them is weak or mu'tal ending, and the second one is strong or sahih ending. When the last letter of the word is a mad letter, it can be alif mad, waw mad, or ya mad. Stopping on that kind of word is considered as a weak ending. If you see in these examples, qalu, the word is ending with waw mad, or in the next example, innama, the word is ending with alif mad. Next example, idha, the word is again ending with an alif mad. In the next example, amanu, the word is ending with a waw mad. And in the next three examples, as you can see, the words are ending with ya mad, alladhi, allati, yahdi. And here also you see alif mad as the end of a word, and you recite it like this, fawqaha. So all of these are the examples where the last letter of a word is a mad letter, and the stopping on these words will be considered as weak ending. The strong ending, on the other hand, is when the last letter of the word is not a mad letter and it has a letter other than a mad letter which originally has a sukoon, whether you continue or stop, the letter carries all the time. Such as in these examples, you can see all these words are ending with letters other than mad letters, and they have original sukoon on them. So if you choose to stop or continue on the word rabbihim, letter meme will remain sakin. This is an example of an original sukoon, and stopping on this word will be considered as strong ending. Exactly like this in the next word, uiddat. Letter ta has an original sukoon. Whether you choose to continue or stop here, this sukoon is a permanent sukoon on letter ta, and stopping on the word uiddat will be considered as strong ending. Exactly like this in the words mathaluhum or fasabbih. On both of these words, the last letter carries an original sukoon, and stopping at the end of these words will be considered as strong ending. And when the last letter of a word has a vowel or haraka and the sukoon is temporary just for stopping, such as in these examples, when I try to continue my recitation, I will recite this word like this, al-fasiqina, letter known with the fatha. But when I choose to stop at the end of the word by putting a temporary sukoon on the last letter, then the ending on this word by making the last letter as a sakin letter will be considered as strong ending as well. So in rest of the examples as well, upon continuation, we will follow the vowel, but upon stopping, if we are choosing to stop with a sukoon, in that case, stopping at the end of these words where the last letter originally has a vowel, but we are choosing to stop with a sukoon will be considered as strong ending. And there are certain other ways to stop at the end of words. They are called ishmam and round, and inshallah, we will discuss them in our topic very soon. So let's first begin how to stop on words with a weak ending. We will first discuss the general rules for all three mad letters And then, inshallah, we will discuss them and their exceptions one by one. The general rule for words ending with any of the three mud letters is the same. And the first of them is if the mud letter is written at the end of a word and the sakin letter does not follow it, in that case, we pronounce the mud letter when stopping on it, just as it is when continuing the following part of the Quran. And let's see some examples here. Here in this word, you can see the word is ending with a waw mud. Don't be confused with this alif at the end of the word that has a circle on the top, because this alif is called alif at-tafriq or separating alif, and this is usually written at the end of a plural waw to indicate the end of a word. This alif is never pronounced in any state, neither when we continue or stop. It is not part of the recitation at all. This alif is not pronounced and has no grammatical place. So the last letter of the word amanu is a waw mad, and the next word starts with a vowel letter. So upon continuation, we will recite it like this: amanu wa amilu. And upon stopping, we will recite the first word like this: amanu. So in both cases, we will recite waw mad with 2 counts of maddu tabi'i. And exactly like this, letter ya is the last letter of the first word. And since the next word is not sakin, we will recite letter ya upon stopping, exactly like when we continue the following part. So upon stopping, we will say lafi, and upon continuation, we will say lafi khusrin. And here as well, since the first word is ending with a ya mad, and the following word does not start with a sakin letter, we will recite ya mad with maddu tabi'i, whether we continue or stop on the word alladhi. The second rule to stop at the end of a mud letter is if the mud letter is written at the end of a word and the next word begins with a sakin letter, then the mud letter is dropped in pronunciation when we are choosing to continue due to ittaqa is-sakinain. But upon stopping on the first word, we will recite the mud letter. So let's see this example here. The first word, waquduha, is ending with a mud letter, which is alif mad, and the next word is starting with a sakin letter. So upon continuation, we will recite it by applying the rule of ittaqa is-sakinain like this: waquduha nasu. But upon stopping, we will recite the first word by giving the 2 counts of maddu tabi'i at the end of the word like this: waquduha. And exactly like this in all these examples, upon continuation, we will cancel the mad like this: فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ. And upon stopping, we will say فَأَمَّا. In the next example, upon continuation, we will recite it إِلَّا الْفَاسِقِينَ. And upon stopping at the first word, we will recite alif mad with 2 counts of maddu tabi'i like this: illa. And here again, when we choose to continue, we will apply the rule of ittaqa is-sakinain wa amilu salihati. And upon stopping, we will give the 2 counts of maddu tabi'i to waw mad and stop here like this: wa amilu. The third rule, when stopping on a word where the mad letter is the last letter, is only for waw mad or ya mad, because this is stopping on maddu sila. And as we know, maddu sila is not for alif mad. Maddu sila only occurs for waw or ya mad, and it is pronounced when we are continuing the recitation, and it is dropped when we are choosing to stop on the first word. For example, here in this word, if we choose to continue, we will give 2 counts of maddu sila sughra and recite it like this: innahu kana. But upon stopping on the first word, we will recite it like this: inna. And here again, If we choose to continue, we will give 2 counts here of maddu sila sughra, bihi kathirun. But upon stopping, we will recite the first word like this, bih. So when the word is ending with maddu sila, in that case, upon continuation, we will recite the mad, but upon stopping, we will drop the mad letter. And the last point here is, if the mad letter is not present in the mushaf or the written copy of the Quran, then the mad letter is dropped in pronunciation when we continue or stop. And the only reason to mention this rule is that in some other ways of the recitation of the Quran, even if the mad letter is not written at the end of a word, the mad letter is pronounced on stopping, and in some qira'at, the mad letter is pronounced upon stopping and continuation both. So all the general rules remain the same for the words ending with a mad letter, but there are certain words need to be discussed that are ending with the mad letter. And the first one is when the words are ending with waw mad, all the general rules will remain the same for words ending with a waw mad. But there are 5 words in the Quran, 4 verbs and 1 noun that originally ends with the letter waw, but they are written in the Mus'haf without the letter waw at the end for no grammatical reason. So in the recitation of Hafs and Asim, Tariqatu Shatibiyya, we follow the rule that states when the mad letter is not present in the written copy of the Quran, the mad letter is dropped in pronunciation when continuing and stopping. And these words are Yad'u in Suratul Isra, ayah number 11. Since it is written like this in the Mus'haf, so Hafs follows the writing of the Quran, and we will stop or continue without the mad letter waw after letter ayn. Exactly like this, the word yamhu is written in the Mus'haf without letter waw at the end. So Hafs follows the writing of the Quran. So whether we continue or stop, we will recite this word without letter waw. And the same applies to rest of the words. Again, the word yad'u in Surah Al-Qamar, ayah number 6, and the word sanad'u in Surah Al-Alaq, ayah number 18, and the word salihu in Surah Al-Tahrim, ayah number 4. In certain other recitations of the Quran, they pronounce letter waw at the end of these words, but according to Hafs, since there is no waw written at the end of these words, we will not recite waw mad, whether we stop on these words or continue our recitation. And when the words are ending with ya mad, the general rule again remains the same in the recitation of Hafs and Asim, but there are some ya not written at the end of words, but in some ways of recitation, letter ya is recited when the reciter stops on those words, and in other ways of recitation, the unwritten ya is recited in both cases, whether you continue or stop, and they are called al-ya'at al-zawaid. This occurs many times in the Quran that the extra ya is not written, and here are some of the examples in these words, like in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 40, where the word famhabun is written without the ya at the end. So in case of continuation, we will recite it tarhabuni, and in case of stopping, Hafs stops according to the writing of the Quran, and we will recite it like this, tarhabun, with the sakin noon. And exactly like this, in rest of the words, Suratul Ma'idah, ayah number 3, the word wakhshawni is written without the final ya. So Hafs will follow the writing of the Quran here. In Surah Namal as well, in Suratul Fajr, ayah number 15, the word akramani. This word does not have ya at the end written in the Mus'haf, so we will follow the writing of the Quran when reciting with Hafs and Asim. But there are some times when these same words, they come with the ya written at the end. And when this happens, Hafs and Asim follows the writing of the Quran and recites the letter Ya upon stopping. And if there is no sakin letter following the Ya mad, then it is recited in case of continuation as well. For example, in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 150, the word is written with Ya mad at the end. So here we will recite it like this. وَخْشَوْنِي when we are choosing to stop. And upon continuation as well, we will recite it with two counts of maddu tabi'i because the following word starts with a vowel letter. So when the word is written with the ya mad, Hafs recites the mad letter just like here. But when exactly the same word is not written with the mad letter, so Hafs recites the word without the mad letter. But there is one exception in the glorious Quran where Hafs and Asim stops on a word without a regular ya written. There are two possible ways to stop here, and one of them is reciting the letter ya, and the other one is without reciting the letter ya. And this occurs in Surah An-Naml, and the word is atani. So here you can see in Surah An-Naml, ayah number 36, the word is written like this in the Quran. So upon continuation, we will recite it like this. Ataniyallahu. So the tiny ya written on the top, we will recite it with the fatha, and this is the way to continue the recitation on this word. Ataniyallahu. But upon stopping, there are two possible ways. Either we can stop with a ya sakina or without a ya sakina, which means we are stopping on letter noon. So the first way is reciting it like this. Atani. And the second way is to recite it like this. Atan. And both of these ways are allowed in Hafsun Asim Tariqatu Shatibiyya. So the important thing to remember is that Hafs follows the writing of the Quran for words ending with a ya mad, with the exception of ayah number 36 in Surah An-Naml. We will continue this lesson, insha'Allah, with words ending with alif mad in our next class. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.